Hello and good evening. It is the AFL Armchair Advisors back in the studio and back in our rightful bloody positions where we belong, coming to you fresh and hot and steaming out of the oven in preparation for AFL Round 10. I am Rich, of course, your host, and joining me back running the stats. He's back behind the lappy, looking like Davros from Doctor Who. If you're a giant nerd, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is, of course, Sensible Dan. How are you, mate?
I'm feeling much better this week, mate. I'm feeling much better, much more at home, much more comfortable. I'm good and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's not easy in this seat, is it?
It is not.
No, it's hard yakka.
It is not.
It takes a special type of operator to sit in this chair. And, of course, when we refer to special, I cannot, of course, go any further without paying special mention to our special global field correspondent, who is the epitome of special. It is Desmond Van Bus. How are you, mate?
I'm feeling good. I feel like a weight has been lifted. I am going to say, though, this is the first time I'm rocking an hoodie today.
Why?
It's the first time because I'm sleepy. It's time for a nap.
I thought it was going to be full Terminator 1 mode. Wash day tomorrow. Nothing clean, mate. He's down to hoodies and that's it.
After almost getting a clean sweep last round, sleepy, putting out these good tips. But in the Temple of Advisory, it gets very hot. That's where we do our podcast, the Temple of Advisory. Far out. This is my I had that long sleeve COVID jumper, but this thing is hot. I don't know how you guys do it every week. Respect to these guys.
I mean, we don't do it in hoodies every week. But
this is also true. This breathes, man. This breathes. Look at this.
This done breathes.
What's the stitch count on that?
That Sherpa wall is hot.
That is vile.
Straight off the back of
red hot
Sherpas
Des
as well,
peppers, as
shaved
they
off
say.
their back.
If you're watching this on YouTube, please jump down the bottom, click that subscribe button, please. That's what we do it for. We do it for the lols. We do it for the bants. We do it for you watching at home and around the world. So click that like and subscribe. It's much appreciated.
Get behind you, boys.
If you're on the podcast, you haven't checked out the YouTube yet, Dan, what should they be doing?
Go to the YouTube.
Exactly. See, it's as easy as that.
Pretty
Jump
simple.
on the YouTube, Armchair Advisors.
Easy as.
Facebook, Insta, Twitter. It's all Armchair Advisors. Just search it. Fellas, let us jump with both feet first into this round's worth of games. Let's have a look at the Friday night game. My notes tell me here that it is at the Gabbatoir, as they used to call it back in the day, between the Brisbane Lions and the Richmond Tigers. Now, Sensible Dan, I know you're keen on this one, mate. Talk to me. Who are you backing? This is a big game.
It is a huge game, and it's actually quite tough to pick. After the Lockie Neal injury, everyone sort of wrote the Lions off, and they've won 5 in a row. They're looking real good, form team of the competition at the moment. And the Tigers are sort of, a bit of this. They're up and down. They had a really good win against the Giants. I thought that showed a lot of guts to come from behind and get that done. But yeah, I'm just going to be backing in the Lions here. I feel like you got to go with the form team. Lions, like Jared Lyons, not the Brisbane Lions. Jared Lyons, Klug and Zorko are just playing out of their skin at the moment. They've gone to a whole other level. And Klug's rightly getting some acclaim for being in Brownlow mix at the moment.
Love it.
But how far would Jared Lyons be away? They're cannibalising each other up there. They all want 3 votes. They're hungry boys.
See, a little return to Kane's World this week. We used to do Kane's World last year on the potty. And he said during the week that Lions going to the Lions from the Gold Coast is one of the worst list management decisions ever. And I'm inclined to agree with him. I mean, what did the Lions have last week? He won the medal, didn't he? Yeah.
Yep. It was about 37 and a goal, somewhere along, which at the moment is stock standard for him, which is
average.
Out of control.
It's disgraceful stuff. Look, I agree with you. I'm tipping in the Lions here, 1-39. Up in the Gabba, up on the Sunshine State, that's going to come in handy. If it was being played at the G, I'd probably be leaning towards Richmond, to be honest with you. Richmond got out of jail. No mistake. I was at that Port game, and I was sat there. I was getting bad, dirty looks from the Port fans, mainly because I was wearing Crows gear. But I also had the phone out, and I was watching the last 3 minutes of the GWS game. It was unreal. The last 3 minutes was
Awesome game.
was insane. And I tipped the Giants, and I couldn't believe that it was just standard Richmond.
You sort of I sort of felt like if Toby Green didn't cop that knock and get injured during the game, it might have been a different story. But they sort of just seemed to lose a little bit of that steam towards the end of the game, the Giants.
Fourth quarter was tough for the Giants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Richmond, as I kind of mentioned earlier in previous pods, Richmond haven't come back from adversity. We know they can. They're obviously the great team that they are, but they haven't come back from adversity this year.
Yep.
When Dusty's been shut down, when they're down, when the chips are down, they haven't done it. And obviously here they've come back and they were awesome in that fourth quarter. They should have won by more. They should have won by more. They didn't put They didn't put it away.
Did you notice how the last couple of weeks, teams have been running a big defender man on man with Dusty, and it's negated him. That didn't happen with the Giants, and the man ran right. He was running around like a kid that's been at the red cordial and couldn't stop.
I think it was you last week that brought it up. No one on the Giants matches up well with Dusty realistically, and they tried to run Connor Iden with him. And no disrespect to Connor Iden, but he's played 10 games. You can't, and Dusty had 4 goals and 28 disposals. So not the right matchup for next time.
What you're going to do? But I tell you what, Brisbane's going to do. They're going to send a bloke to him. Now, I would have thought maybe Darcy Gardner. I know he's a bit taller, but I think he would have had
he's out for 10 to 12.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is I think he would have been an interesting little matchup. Taller, older, bit more nous, bit more experience. He would have been an interesting run with, and now I'm not quite sure who they go with. Maybe Slobby Robbie. Maybe Slobby Robbie runs with Big Dusty.
Could be.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome.
Oh, mate, I'd be that firm in the front. You'd have to park it sideways. I tell you what. Let's talk bets. Actually, did you give us your tip? Who's your tip?
I got Brizzy 1 to 39. It's a consensual consensus.
An early consensual consensus to start us off. We like
delicious.
that.
But I love this game. This is one of my favourite games.
Oh, bloody oath, yeah.
Potentially of the year.
Big time.
Love it.
Hugely so.
Bets-wise.
Bets-wise, talk to me.
Jack Graham, 20 plus.
Yep.
Did it last week just as I predicted. Moved back into the midfield and dominated. So $1.62 for that one. And Dan Rich, just statting and packing at the moment. 25 plus, $1.50 money for Jam.
Majority kicks.
It'd be 25 kicks, 25 touches.
And that works. No chip kicks. All 60-metre bombs.
Beautiful.
He likes jamming it on the boot, and I love that.
All day or a day. Well, you've been looking over my shoulder then, so I'm jumping on Daniel Rich as well for 25. Now, Stinky Linky, big Stink Beans McCarthy. Every time this year I've got on him for a goal, he's looked after me. So here's me knocking on wood. He doesn't let me down this week. Yeah, he did. Yeah, the big sinking Lincoln.
So it's this week.
It's not this week. I knocked on wood. So Rich 25, Lincoln anytime goal. I want Jared Lyons 25 touches, and I want both Hugh McCluggage and Dustin Martin a goal each and 25 touches each.
Love it.
That's what I'm looking at, and that's about $15.
And all that comes together, and it sounds like it's going to be a good game.
If all of that comes off, you know full well you're in for a day. Day at the races. You're right there. You're a bit warm. I reckon he's got the sweaty bollock.
Just went 6 to midnight.
That's exactly what it was.
Absolutely.
Don't air your dirty scrot out on this show. You're a rancid man. Let us move it on to the first Saturday game. It's at the MCG, and we are looking at the Carlton Blues versus the Hawthorn Hawks fellas, plural, of course. Plural. Have I asked you what your gender, what your pronouns are? Can I call you fellas?
I don't know at the moment.
You don't know? That's all right.
I don't understand what that means.
It's understandable. That is understandable. Humans. Creatures.
Well, and not only that, but if Desmond was going to change his on Instagram, they don't have the requisite terms made up yet.
Yeah, but he can invent them.
We don't know what he is.
Yeah, but he can invent them. That's what they do. It's 2021, man.
I identify as a punting god.
I thought you were going to say gambler then.
All right, let's talk footy. Now, Carlton and Hawks. Blues went down against Melbourne last week. Wasn't unexpected, but it was the method in which they went down, and I think that was a pretty honourable loss. And I know if you're a Blues fan, you've heard the term honourable loss.
Oh, they love
honourable
losses.
Times.
They love a bit honourable loss at losing.
I think they hate them now.
Kings.
Actually, no one's better at the honourable loss than the Blues. But look, they lost by 26 points to Melbourne. I don't think it was a 4-goal loss. They hung in there pretty tight with them. Yep. Cripps noticeably on the uptick. Wheat bag Wiedering noticeably on the down. He had a bad one.
Yeah, that hurt me.
Very surprising.
I like Wiedering. I like watching Carlton and watching Wiedering and Mackay each end. It's just nice to watch. Yeah. I know Wiedering's little, but not little, but
he's a fairly big boy.
He's bigger than all three of us put together.
Yeah, little in comparison to
a little in name.
The big guys.
A little in name.
Yeah, he's little in comparison to Aaron Sandilands. I agree.
Andre the Giant. Sure. Now, interesting, Ed Curnow. Putting together actually probably one of his better seasons in recent memory, but he's going under the radar a bit because everyone's either talking about Cripps or they're how bad he is, or they're talking about Walsh how good he is, or they're talking about Wiedering or Jones or McKay. McKay, is he injured?
He copped a fairly heavy knock. He battled through it.
He'll play.
He will.
Well, if Carlton love playing injured blokes, so he'll play. Curnow's not been getting the plaudits, and I think he's quite important. He's more important to that team now than Mark Murphy.
Absolutely. Well, he's playing that tagging role, that negating role, and he did it on on Petrarca on the weekend and did a mighty fine job of it.
Reasonable. I think
that.
Truck still had 27 and didn't kick a goal, but still 27 touches.
But they weren't 27. It wasn't a typical track performance.
Pitbull.
No.
Correct
Pitbull
answer.
was in the kennel.
Yeah.
Whereas Hawks, fellas, what can we say about the Hawks that hasn't already been said about Afghanistan? Okay, they've got no decent young talent coming up that's getting on the park.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got a few names in arrears, but where are they at the minute? What are they doing? They're not playing, and that's what the problem is. They just look like it looks like that classic team that now has realised and admitted to themselves that, yeah, we're poo-poo. Yep. We're not doing anything this year. Let's just give it up. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. Float through. You've got the older heads doing a bit. Not much else is going on. Yep. So, look, you'd be dumb to say anything other than Carlton this week. I'm tipping Carlton 1-39, but let me just say, a little caveat, little asterisk, that you can never trust Clarko to do what you think he's going to do, and you can never trust Carlton to do what you think they're going to do.
You can never trust Carlton to win. Never trust Carlton to win.
No.
Correct. Even Carlton supporters will back us
I
on
agree.
that.
I mean, in years past, this would have been one of those games where you say, Hawthorn will get it together this week. But coming off a loss to North Melbourne.
And they were 30 points up against North Melbourne. So they've got that. If you look at the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus 30.
Exactly.
They still lost.
This is
got rolled.
Unreal.
This is a completely different Hawthorn setup to anything we've seen in the last sort of 15 years. Yeah. Like you said, they're just like show malaise. They can't be asked. They don't want to be there. I don't know where this ends for Clarko, but
I'll tell you where it ends.
I can't imagine he's going to be staring down the barrel of another 8-year contract.
Oh, he will, just in different colours.
Yeah.
It'd be the same pattern. Adelaide colours.
Come on.
And look, I still rate Clarko's coaching. I think in terms of, if you're ranking the best coaches in the league, he's still right up there, but it's probably time and best for both parties to break up.
A new broom will sweep clean, I think. But it's interesting, is like Mitchell's still having 30 touch games, but they're not like killer touches. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're not touches that slice off apart. O'Meara. Who is O'Meara? Mm-hmm. Who is O'Meara? What's he ever done?
Mm-hmm. Oh my, O'Meara.
And the worst thing is, like, Jimmy Warple's getting moved out of the rotation.
Yeah.
Or moved down the pecking order to fit, O'Meara in. And it's just, I don't know.
Big stink.
Yeah, it's
not good for a Saturday arvo, but you don't want it on a Sunday arvo either, really.
Hell no.
Bets-wise, what we're talking
just quickly, I was going to say Blues 1-39 is my tip. I assume you're very much
Blues
the same. So another consensual consensus.
The double.
Hercules.
Love it.
I'm watching that when I get home.
I don't believe there's any way that Sam Walsh does not get 30 disposals in this contest. So that's paying $1.72 at the moment. Easy money.
Value.
And Jackie Scrimshaw for 20 plus at $1.40. Just been statting up down back because it's spending a hell of a lot of time down there. So
Homer Scrimson.
Love that.
Homer Scrimson.
Big Homer Scrimson. I've got a few things. I did look at the Scrimson thing. I'm calling him that for the rest of my life now.
That works.
It's awesome.
I did look at the Scrimson thing. I ultimately decided against it. I've picked a few other things because I do like big Scrimmy Ricard. Look, I've got Ed Curnow, 25 touches. I can't talk him up and then not rep him here. Sam Walsh, 25. Like, that's just standard.
Unless I bet on him.
Standard. Harry Morrison for the Hawks, 15 touches, is paying about $1.50 at the minute, which is unusual because he's averaging 19.
Yep.
And over the last, I think, 3 weeks, he's had 19, 21, and 21. So
he just wanders around the park, gets 19 or 20 aimless disposals.
Yeah.
We love that.
And goes home.
For betting.
Exactly, especially when it's $1.50 a leg. That's dopey. Now, Kazichki, anytime goal. Thank you. He's averaging about 1.2 goals per game.
Someone's got to kick him for Hawthorn.
Someone's got to kick him, and they're not going to go scoreless. And Eddie Betts, anytime goal in the first half, which is a bit of an unusual one, and I don't like trusting the older folks, especially when they're small forwards.
That's very funny. So I bet on that when I went to that live game.
There you go.
And he missed the first goal. Like, clear as day, missed the first goal. Mm-hmm. There was a score review. Mm. That was a point. Mm. Bang! Kicked it. And he actually kicked 2 in the second half. Second quarter. He's a second quarter sneak, old Eddie Betts. Loves it in the second quarter.
Every game over the last, I think, it's definitely 3, but I'm pretty sure it's the last 4 games. He's had at least 1 goal in the first half.
And that early one he kicked against the D's the other day was just vintage Eddie as well.
Nice to see.
Just vintage. It's like he can't kick 40 metres anymore, but when he gets it on an angle from inside 20, you just about put your life on it. Just the instincts take over.
I bloody love it. Happy with that, fellas?
Happy.
Happy with that, fellas. Alrighty, let us have a look now at the second Saturday game at GMHBA Stadium down in Geelong, down the highway. It is the Geelong Cats, of course, taking on the Gold Coast Suns' Desmond Van Bus. You're looking dressed for Geelong weather, can I just say this, isn't he? He's got the right colours on for a start. This is a big blue and white hoodie. It's warm. You're actually dressed for a Geelong summer, realistically, right now. In fact, I would still.
I feel like it's the Northern Territory summer in this down here now.
It doesn't look comfortable. Oh. Speaking of uncomfortable, tell us about this game. How much of the Gold Coast Sun's going to lose?
I'm actually going to handball that to you boys because I've got a very big call to make. It's a very big call. I may be sleepy today, but I've got a very, very big call to make.
He's been at the perks.
I want to hear all your bets.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you pull out that Des head for Des Dog of the Week here, I'm going to be real upset.
No, it's not. You're going to actually be upset with the Des Dog of the Week.
I think you're an idiot already.
I think he's on perks.
You're going to be upset with the Des Dog of the Week. You're going to be upset with it, but it's not today.
All right.
It's not today.
I'm going to make it real quick. So this down at GMHBA Stadium. So Geelong is not going to lose this game.
No way.
And it's probably not going to be by under 50.
No.
I would say.
No.
Gold Coast last time they got flogged, which was by the Doggies.
Yes.
They responded the week after against Sydney.
Yes.
Not happening here.
No.
That's my analysis.
Good luck.
No.
Good luck, Chuck.
It's a shame because it hurts me because I like the Gold Coast, but they're just,
I've said it before on this show. What do we love? Fellas, what do we love on the show?
Boobies.
What else do we love on the
Beers.
show? What is the third thing that we love on this show?
Betting.
We love consistency.
We
love consistency on this show. Now,
I love boobies more.
that is, he's been at the Percocets. I'm certain about it. But we love consistency on this show. Now, if you look back over the last, I think, 10 years, funnily enough, because the Gold Coast has been in the competition for 10 years now, this is now starting to get to that point of the season where Gold Coast hits their mid-season slump. All of the juice and energy is drained out of their first
Their baby legs.
Their first third of the season, and now they're tuckered. And that's the end of that. They are Darcy tuckered, and they're not doing anything more. They're going to lose the next 8 in a row, I reckon. Do you know what I mean?
Just 8?
It's just, I'm being nice. But that will be standard. That will be classic, vintage, consistent Gold Coast right there. So, yeah, look, I'm tipping Geelong, 40 plus. I'll tell you what, I've actually got a bit of a call to make here, chaps and chap-ants. Geelong looks like a more balanced team without Dangerfield.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Well, they've shown that.
Yeah,
I feel
they
like
have.
They've shown that. That's not a massive call. They've shown that.
Well, typically you hear Dangerfield is a champion, and he's a champion. He's a champion of the game. But I feel like without him in the team, there's less of an emphasis on what Danger's doing, and no one's looking for Danger, and Danger's not running around doing what he wants to do. You got Hermit, Guthrie, and Duncan, who are underrated by everyone, by all and sundry. Guthrie could be a very sneaky little dark horse for Brownlow.
Well, I was actually gonna say, I've just pulled it up. Mitch Duncan would be my Brownlow Smoky at the moment, currently paying $51 dues. $51, and he has been dominating week in, week out.
That's
unreal.
What's Homeless Guthrie doing?
$51.
Homeless Guthrie.
Guthrie.
Currently paying $17. Still good value.
That's still ripping value.
You would.
He's a bigger name, so I can see him sneaking a couple.
But those two, plus Menegola, they never draw heat from Oppo. Whereas Danger, it's Danger, I'm worried about him, which is fair enough. In the forward line, Hawkins, Cameron Rowan, there's too many options for a defence to line up against. In the back line, Tommy Stewart, Zach Toohey, who else is down there? Lockie Henderson. They're just as certain a back line. You know what they're going to provide every week in, week out, and they do. They're elite at their jobs.
Yep.
They've got their roles down pat.
100%.
They're a much more balanced team without worrying about where Danger is. And I think that's going to be reflected. Geelong's winning by 40 plus. Very sorry to the Three Suns fans who's probably watching this and listening and being like, come on, boys, give us something here. Oh, actually, I got Chongus Miller. Chonk Miller's back.
He's back.
Chonk Miller is back. So get on him for stats because he was the only bloke in there getting about
Big
30
Chongus.
touches.
He will be doing big work.
I love it.
Big work.
Yeah. Big Mama's house. Chungus is in the house and I'm keen.
A quick couple of bets.
Yeah, go.
Mitch Duncan 30 plus is $2 at the moment. That's pretty outrageous, to be honest.
How much
with you.
again? What?
$2 for 30 plus touches. I don't think he'll do that
In this
walking
game,
backwards in his sleep.
Might do that the first half.
Yeah.
Put that on now.
I mean, the best thing about him is I love how he sluts down back to take kick-outs as well, and then he's up the other end of the ground kicking goals. He's got a tank. A stupid tank.
Yeah.
And Isaac Smith for 20 plus, only paying $1.36, but
nice little fluffer.
20 plus is easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
I'll be
for
running
Isaac.
around getting touches like you wouldn't believe.
Easily so. Do you have anything?
No bets, but have you...
I got some bets. I got some real quick bets. Geelong 40 plus, that's an easy one. That's $1.72 still. Yoink.
I like it.
Brad Close, anytime goal, and he... Just keep an eye on Brad Close. It's always $1.30. Brad Close anytime goal. He's had at least one in every.
He just kicks goals. He kicks goals.
Real weird one. Menegola anytime goal. Everyone's going to go for it. It's going to be a party. Everyone's going to go forward. Zach Toohey 20 plus. Mitch Duncan 25 plus. That's paying $5.40.
Love it.
Okay.
What's his big proposition?
Yeah, come on, spit it out.
The listeners in the pod
may
or may not have heard me talk about the resident cats expert, Cam Popperwell. Well, He's asked for a shout out, and he is going to get a shout out. I've got a
Can
deal
you describe
for you, Cam.
For the people listening in Australia and around the world who aren't familiar with this Cats fan of yours, Cam Popplewell, describe him for people listening. What's the image they should have in their mind when they think of this individual?
Think of Zorro with long hair, with bleached blonde hair, and 5'8".
And 58 grams. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Zorro.
All right.
Zorro.
Okay. I'm not sure what you mean by that. He's a Spaniard and wears a mask and has a sword.
I think he'll love that.
Fair enough.
He'll be frothing at the bit that you said that.
So what's Spanish Cam got to say
So
about
he's
it?
asked for the shout out. The shout out is we've got a deal. We've got a deal for you, Cam, and you've got to accept because we're airing it. We're airing our dirty laundry as I'm going to be airing this Woody in about half an hour.
Actually,
the deal is if Geelong win 100 plus against the Gold Coast Suns on a brisk Saturday.
Big chance as well.
Go on.
He is going to smack all three of our socks in between two bits of bread, and he is going to chomp that down for our YouTube followers.
Socks?
Sock sandwich, baby.
A sock sandwich.
Sock sanger, all three of them.
So, this is unusual. Put that back. Nah, get rid of that.
Sock sanger, baby.
I'm dry reaching.
There's your shout out,
I
Cam.
don't like the sound of this.
I don't like any of this.
I
do not endorse
Go
this
the
particular
Cats.
segment.
And the thing is as well, he would love a Cats 100+ win. He'll be hoping for
Yeah.
that.
So if
99.
they do win by 100 points,
He's got to eat a sock sandwich.
so what if they don't win by 100 points?
Nothing.
I don't endorse this particular segment.
I'd hate to be Cam Popplewell if it starts creeping up towards 90 points.
I don't endorse this particular segment, and I'm also not going to endorse this next segment coming up. He's sitting back in his regular position here in the armchair temple, the temple of the advisory temple, the armchair advisory temple. He's sitting back in his pew, in his pulpit, about to preach to us another of his so-called 60-second so-called scrambles. Des, what do you got?
Okay, so I was sensible last week, as sensible as I could be. Had the specs on. It's looking sensible.
Yep. And now he's lost his specs, lost respect.
Okay, well, I had to go on a self-discovery journey. Just at home. I didn't go anywhere because obviously COVID's locked down.
He did acid or something.
No,
That's what I was
yeah, sure.
Self-discovery, I had been known as the Dalai Lama Des, so I had to do the self-discovery, did some mindfulness, did some meditation, and I've decided this scramble is going to be a self-reflection scramble where I'm going to ask you some tough questions of would you rather, what would you rather be, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, all right? I'm very excited. Okay, who wants to go first?
Dan doesn't.
All right, Dan, what kind of red fruit would you be if you could choose?
Strawberry.
Beautiful.
Small and sweet.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, Richie, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
One horse-sized duck, because you can get like 100 of them. They're just like as a wave. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I armed with?
Yourself.
Cricket bat?
Oh, whatever. You get one weapon of choice.
Oh, cricket
That
bat.
is not. Yeah.
Even with a cricket bat, though, 100 of them, they're gonna start mounting you
They'll
pretty
wave
quick,
you,
and
yeah.
once they're on, you're done.
No, but ducks got flimsy little
Imagine,
legs. If you
imagine a
take one-
horse-sized duck. That'd be
No.
funny as.
If you take one knee out, you win. Done.
All right, Dan. You're at a press conference. At the Armchair Advisor press conference, would you rather fart really loud or shite your pants silently?
Would I rather fart really loud or shite my pants silently?
Yeah.
Shite.
Yeah, same. I was
Yeah.
thinking the shies.
So would I.
Yeah.
I might have done it already. All right.
I would explain what I'm
Yeah,
smelling. I'd
yeah.
say
All
that
right.
already reeks.
All right, Richie, would you rather wake up a different gender... take it back.
I would not rather wake
Would you
up,
rather
no.
wake up with a different face but the same gender or a different gender with the same face?
So it's a woman's face on my body, or it's my face on a woman's body.
Yeah.
Look, there may or may not be in the deep, dark, dimmer corners of the internet images of Rich in some sort of drag-like outfit, and I pulled it off. I could, it could work. It could work. So I think I'll go my face on a woman's body.
Respect that. And you get boobies. Alrighty. Dan, would you rather be a giant hamster or a tiny rhino?
Giant hamster.
Yeah.
Giant. Yeah. I just want to be big, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
2 to go.
Yeah.
Richie, would you rather be trapped in an elevator with an old lady and 3 wet dogs or 3 fat men with bad breath?
Old
Do you know
lady.
how long it took me to think of that?
Yeah, a long
an hour.
period of time, and I'm not going to give you the payoff that you're looking for. Old lady and 3 wet dogs.
Why?
Because I think all of those smells would cancel each other out, and I wouldn't smell anything that I'd be like, oh, it's just wet dog. That's all right. Well, bless his heart. I'll give him a little pat. As opposed to 3, what was it, fat blokes?
Fat men with bad breath.
See, there's no room.
And you know they'd be rubbing up on you.
Yeah, I'm not having that.
All right, final one. This one's funny. All right, Dan.
That'll be a welcome change.
Yeah. Would you rather have 2 big, long, yellow teeth like a beaver or no teeth at all?
Oh, you'd rather go none.
Yeah, I think so.
You'd rather go none.
Yo.
How long are we talking? Like,
So you look like a beaver like down here.
Like beaver teeth.
Nah, none.
Beaver.
None at all.
Get back here, beaver.
I mean, not that you'd want to, but you could just eat mashed food forever.
just don't speak.
I don't want people looking at me with 2 big long yellow gnashes.
Big, long, yellow, and there was a comment there too. Big, long, yellow beaver teeth.
Good, you couldn't leave the house. Well, I'm not quite sure what that had to do with football, but you know, it was an interesting.
Something.
I'm happy.
It was an interesting change, but he's genuinely been at the Perks. This is what it is.
We're reflected.
He's been at the meth.
For those interested, it's a toilet break. If you don't want to listen to it, just go take a quick slash and come back later.
All right,
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
Subscribe, yeah.
Speaking of a toilet break, you may wish to take a toilet break instead of going to the Adelaide Oval to see the Adelaide Crows take on the Melbourne Demons. Fellas, I think we can fly through this one.
Easy.
Sensible
Adelaide,
Dan?
I'm cutting in. Adelaide were all right against West Coast. They were okay. You know, to lose by 30 points in the end, even putting West Coast in even if they were in cruise control, respect it. Because you know what I was expecting? An 80-plus loss.
Yeah.
Right? I was expecting an absolute beatdown. So Adelaide weren't too bad. But what were you going to say, Dan?
I was going to pretty much say the exact same thing, but just chuck on the end of it.
Oh, hello.
Sensible Dan's lock of the week. Demons 40+.
That is also my lock of the week as well.
I
You just made that up.
No, I didn't.
You're a
100%.
squib.
100. It was going to be at the line, but I like to be consistent.
I liked how Adelaide went about it against West Coast early on in the piece. The second quarter's what absolutely torched them. Jack Darling just destroyed them. But yeah, these are just the whole other level to West Coast at the moment, and 40+ is probably about where the Crows are sitting. So
I was going to say the line. The line was going to be my lock, but I may as well jump on the bandwagon while it's rolling.
While it's rolling, I can't disagree with anything I've heard here. I mean, this is going to be a training run for the D's. And that's no disrespect to the Crows, but they looked like last week, they looked exactly like a team that's going to lose by 5 goals to a premiership contender on their home dead. Like, that's where they look. And that's not a crack. That's just where they're at. They don't have the cattle really on the park. Like, a good 50% of that team that's running around now is not going to be present there in 4 to 5 years' time when this team's back towards the top doing a little bit of damage.
Well, I mean, Des and I were saying before the pod, like, the Crows' 2 best defenders at the moment are Jordan Butts and Tom Duday, who both played a combined, 40 games?
Yeah.
Like,
No, less,
you know,
my age.
it's tough. It's real tough. You know, and they are pretty admirable again early against Kennedy and Darling, but they just took hold eventually. And I imagine Ben Brown and Tom McDonald will just do the exact same thing.
Keep going, and Wiedemann's been pressing. If he gets a run this week, he is going to go stupid to try and reinforce his spot in that team. Who's the answer for Cozzy Pickett? You know, what defender goes to Coz?
Well, none can.
None can.
Good luck.
None
That hurts
can.
me.
None can.
I'm excited to watch that actually.
And then if Luke Jackson's back, which he very well could be, he's recovered from that finger, and I think this would be a nice game to just ease him back into it.
And also Viney as well. There's been a few whispers, so
Very
it could be a long day at the office for the Crowies.
I would have thought so.
Quick bets.
Please.
Track 30+. I think he goes bunter in this game because, Kerno stopped him to some degree. Crows will not.
Well, unless Keys goes to him, but I don't think Keys is that bloke anymore.
Nah, and James Harms 20+. If Viney's out, of course. If Viney's in, we'll probably have a rethink. But James Harms 20+ otherwise.
Nice one. I got an $11 multi here for you folks who like playing this game. Alex Neil-Bullen, anytime goal scorer. Now, I was sat there on the fence last week. I was like, Neil-Bullen, yeah, his numbers are all right. No, I won't put him in. He kicked the first goal, I'm pretty sure, from memory. And he had 2 for the day. I was also thinking Spargo. Didn't put him in either.
Just quickly.
Go on.
I hate Charlie Spargo's hair. I really hate
There's
it.
a few raw lids in the Melbourne team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Charlie Spargo, he has the same a haircut that your mum gives you when you're in year 1.
He's just a bloke.
I just don't like it. Don't rate it. Good player.
Would you rather...
Got a bit of energy about him, but fuck.
I'm going to go Desmond Van Bus mode here. Would you rather have Charlie Spargo's hair and head, or would you rather have Bailey Fritch's hair and head?
Ooh.
Looking like Beavis, or is it Butthead? One of them. Both of them.
Combination. It kind of reminds me of Ike from South Park, actually.
Yeah, that's actually very funny.
Pick.
Spargo.
There you go then.
I'd go Fridge.
I'm torn.
Well, you're an idiot.
I'd go.
Death?
That'll do.
The three fat blokes with bad breath.
Yeah, let them eat me. Neil Bullen, anytime goal.
funny.
Charlie Spargo, anytime goal. Christian Petracca, anytime goal. Thanks very much. And then on the other hand, I've got Christian Petracca, 25 touches. Christian Salem, 25 touches. And for all the Crows fans out there, little Rory Laird, just in the middle.
Battling away.
25 touches for him, and that's paying about $11 all that lot.
Lady was best on ground against the Eagles.
Oh,
for mine. Just an absolute toiled away all day.
Yep.
Legend.
I've got nothing back for it. All right, let us look. Now, actually, this could be, if you had to pick a second game of the round, this one's got potential. I genuinely think this one's got potential. It is the first Saturday night game at Marvel Stadium, where Richmond hates playing. That's why they're not there. It is the Western Bulldogs versus the St Kilda Saints. Now, can Daniel, can he start this one off? Does he have the permission?
Talk away, baby.
Talk away? Ooh,
please.
Love it.
Leap in. What do you like here,
Dogs are still the most fun team in football.
Yeah.
Huge win against Port.
Love that.
Down in Adelaide, so massive for them. They're just fun to watch. Every single week they're just putting points on the board, and I love that. The Sainters, Cooper Grech said it best. They're
Poo?
They're poo in front of goals. 5 goals, 17. Like, you got to be joking me. They actually could have won that game against
What
Geelong.
were they like, 1-8?
Something like that.
Yeah, they legitimately could have won that game. They were all over Geelong for large portions of the game. Just got to the other end and couldn't kick straight. Like Max King.
1 goal, 5.
Yeah, 13 goals, 18 on the year.
Missed right in front when they mattered as well.
And we're asking big money. You're going to have to do better than that.
He's already signed it.
You got to earn it.
Yeah. I think they gave that to him based on talent and potential as opposed to output. But not kind of fair.
Not doing it for me. Like, you would expect some sort of bounce back, but like 5 goals, 17, how's that going to affect your confidence going forward?
Not
like
good.
that sort of stuff carries over
Big
weeks
time.
going, and it's not the right team to be trying to ride
You'll
that
end up
ship
Tyrone Vickery if you're not careful.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Dogs. I'm going to say 1-39 because I think the Saints are showing some signs of life at the moment.
Yeah,
but,
more than they were a month ago, for sure.
But, Dogs are just far too good, I think, at this point in the season.
I can't add anything more to that. I love the Port Doggies game. I thought Port were going to roll over the top there, but Doggies fight back in that last kind of, say, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They showed that they are like, well, we already knew they were a contender, but they showed that they're like legit. They can play that footy in the finals. Like, it's not hard footy to play. It's just smart, clean, attacking footy. Perfect.
Just
They switched twice.
before that,
They switched twice in the defensive half. I don't know if I've seen that ever.
Just to
double switch.
Totally off topic. Did either of you see Bevo's team sheet to start the game?
No, go on.
Bailey Smith named in the back pocket. The starting bench was Marcus Bontempelli, Jack McRae, and Tom Liberatore.
Just trolling.
Yeah. That's an absolute troll.
Just God tier level troll.
As soon as I read it, I was like, this is a joke, a travesty.
Of course it was.
Caleb Daniel named on ball.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Classic. So good.
Now, I'm going to do something that I've never done before, and I'm going to say, Des, I want to return to what you said about being smart there, and I want to hone in on that, and you're absolutely spot on. I watched that Port game. I went to that Port Dogs game, and that was an elite contest to go to. Bloody enjoyed the hell out of that. The Dogs, they've got now an attribute that you saw Richmond really develop in that 2017 season, in that they know where they all are. At every point, at any point when the ball's flicking around, when one of them's got possession, they just know where blokes are.
They're not kicking it up forward. Like when you watch Adelaide when they played Hawthorn, example because it hurts me really badly, is we kicked it up to that right, like out of our back pocket. We kicked it up right. 6 times in a row? Just kept coming back. Yeah. They're not doing that. They didn't even do it once. If they didn't see it, they'd switch back.
But it was the handballs over the back, over the back of the head, the look away, the taps, the tap back, and blokes were just catching it like they knew where they were.
They're all decisive by foot as well.
Yes, they are.
Like generally coming out of 50, you see teams get up to their 50, take a mark, and then you got someone here doing this, slow it down. All that does, teams flood back and the game's over. You're booting up to the line to a contest. Dogs don't do that. They just get the ball moving and moving quick.
Shout out to Cody Waitman too. He kicked a couple of stellar goals. He was unreal too. Nice. I loved it. I love that.
He loves a snag.
He does. I hope he stays. He'll be stiff to go out, but go out is what I suspect he may do. Let's have a quick chat about the Saints. They look better than that loss suggests. They just need a bit of accuracy. A bit of accuracy in front of goal. A bit more poise, a bit more finish.
Again, if that's 17 goals, 5, that's a humongous win.
Well, exactly. Yeah,
Humongous win.
And I think a lot of it probably would be coming down to mental pressure.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of self-expectation. I've got to kick this. Oh, I've got to kick this. And you saw
Big
that.
time.
You saw that on King's face when he was going off and he was just punching himself, saying, "Oh, what? I missed that." That's a team thing. Yeah, they've got the talent, but they don't have the consistency, and a lot of that's up here.
Yep.
If they can put it together, this is a hell of a game. But I think the Dogs have got it a bit more together than what the Saints do at the minute. And at Marvel, both teams love it. It's fast deck. They're fast teams with the ball in hand.
Nice for the doggies to get home.
Nice for the Doggies to get home. Dogs 1-39 for mine, though. Let's talk bets. I do have Cody Waitman goal scorer, anytime goal. I think he was given a chance. Given a big chance.
Big sniff.
Big sniff, and he did not waste it. I think he gets another sniff this week. I think Bevo rewards him, and I think Waitman knows that if he doesn't perform, he's out. The second he doesn't perform, he's out. Waitman, anytime goal. Marcus Bontempelli, anytime goal. Crouch, 25 touches, and he's been just
stellar.
Just starting up. Jack McRae, 30-plus touches, is paying $1.50.
Oh,
now, let me
Jackson.
talk about that stat real quickly. Desmond, what round are we in?
9, 10.
Thank you very much. Round 10. Hashtag Armchair Advisor.
Hashtag sleepy.
Over here. We're in round 10.
Hashtag Snorlax.
Oh, I love a hop beam.
Anyways, of the last 9 games, how many times has Jack McRae gone under 30 touches?
None.
The answer is, of course,
None.
0. His lowest output has been 30 touches.
That's what I'm
this
dressed
year.
up as.
It's
The
just
number 0.
Absolutely stupid. It really is dumb.
And it's still $1.50 for 30
it's
touches.
dumb.
So put all them together, that's paying about $5 for 4 legs. Boom. Boom.
It's only
boom,
only
boom.
taken about 8 years, but he's finally getting some respect put on his name. He just does it every single
I didn't know
week.
his name was Jackson.
Yes.
Yep.
That's weird.
He just does it every single
Hate
week.
that.
Just a jet. Like another one. If he
I
had
thought
it,
he was
if
Jack.
he could end up kicking 15, 20 goals a year, like that's
Oh, Brownlow.
Brownlow
Yeah.
easy.
You didn't know
Easy.
his name was Jackson?
No.
Did you know his brother's name is Finn Layson?
That's Finlayson McRae.
Yeah.
Are you feeding that to me?
Let us move it on, fellas.
I believe that.
Let us move it on, fellas. Fremantle Dockers versus the Sydney Swans. It's the second Saturday night game at Optus. What do you like here, Desi?
Hey, talking about coming home, this is the first. They were up in Brisbane. Who'd they play last week? They were
Melbourne,
Up
then
in Melbourne,
Brisbane,
that's
yep.
right. They played the Bombers. They lost to the Bombers. That's tough. Tough loss. Tough L there. Freo, this is a close game on paper. Like $1.94 to $1.90 if you look at it, or they're going to be that split odds. And I think the Dockers going to roll over the top here. I think Swannies have had that good run, but Freo at home, they've been out. They've been out partying in Brizzy. They've been out partying in Melbourne. Send them back home, baby, and the Dockers are going to win.
Okay.
Purely based off.
All right.
Purely based off of they had the tough loss that they.
Yep.
Oh, it was a coin flip game, really, the Essendon Freo game. Like, when you watch the game, coin flip game, anyone could have won. They're going to have a sour taste. And at home, I think it's going to get them across the line.
Interestingly, Fremantle had more scoring shots than Essendon in that game and still lost.
That's tough.
And
That's real
like
tough.
3 or 4 more.
I thought the Bombers were going to be a lot more comfortable I thought it was going to be a comfortable win for the Bombers. I thought they were going to win by, say, 24.
And I was going to say, what's the Nat 5 tracker at the moment? 2 goals 18 for the year.
Something along those
man.
lines, yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. Like it's
He'll kick a goal. He's going to kick a goal this week.
you can't knock
Promise.
you can't knock a champion too much, but good grief.
He's going to kick a goal
like,
this week. Whatever it's
that's bad.
paying, I'm going to look it up right now.
I did look it up.
Well,
and
what I
I'm
was
not-
quickly going to say to you is those hot nuts that Desmond's got over there must be making that blood pressure elevate and cooking your brain. Big time. The
Dockers, baby.
There's a warm head.
The Swans are absolutely getting the job done here. After that little blip, which we'll call it, with the Suns loss, they've just righted the wrongs. They've played some good footy teams and come very, very close to knocking off Melbourne, which was a gargantuan task.
Yeah.
And I just think they're in good form again. Like, they just seem to have got that sort of balance worked out that they were missing for a few weeks. So yeah, Swans 1-39.
I don't think they were that good against Collingwood. I thought they were average. Like,
Yeah,
Collingwood
but you
did
don't
not
need to
play
be good
well.
against Collingwood.
This is unfortunately a truth of 2021.
You just rock up and like they were down by about 30 points and ended up by winning by 30.
Something
Like,
like that.
You don't even need to
points
switch
against
on.
the Pies.
You just dangle it with Collingwood. You give them a little, oh yeah, look, you're doing all right, and then just pile drive them.
Well, look, I'm going to be the Switzerland now, sat here between England on one side and, of course,
Nigeria.
Nazi Germany on the other side.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. You don't know a thing about that.
Classically, the English have been at war with the Nigerians forever.
They hate him. And vice versa. They hate him. Look, I've gone Freo 1-39 here. There's a few things leaning it for me. I think Freo were going to take some real heart away from some gutsy losses, and I don't hate to say gutsy losses and be that guy.
But they were.
They were on the
They're
road.
a gutsy team.
Well, they're just a workman team. Do you know what I mean? But they've been on the road for 5 weeks, straight,
Tough.
something like that.
They need the buys. They need to buy so bad.
For it. But the fact, like, no one would blame them for getting blown out of games after being on the road for 5 weeks or whatever it is straight.
No way.
Not getting home, all the rest of it. No one could blame them. But they haven't. They've been staying in. They've been hanging in games. Like, they were
big time.
They were honourable against Brisbane. They got beat, and it was unlucky that they got beat, I think, against Essendon. But I think that was the footy gods paying Essendon back for that absolute rort that happened in round one. I think at home, though...
Just quietly as well, Rory Lobb, robbed.
Oh, God, yeah.
Robbed of a mark. You see that?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, no.
Disgraceful. Absolutely. Just the umpiring over the course of the whole round. I don't want to get off this topic too long, but the umpiring this round was the worst it has ever been.
It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. I don't know. I can't say it's worse because I don't know what the rules are anymore.
It was disgusting.
What's the rules? There was something like, and I'm going to get the stat wrong, but it's going to be there or thereabouts. It was something like 1,180 tackles were done over the round for something like 88 free kicks paid per tackle, something like that.
Yep.
That was the stat. It was somewhere in and about that mark.
The one I saw, right, Thursday night, Saints versus Geelong, there was 4 holding the ball calls called for the night. There was 21 called in the Sunday afternoon game. How can it be so different?
Well, they just course correct as the week goes on.
It's just disgraceful.
That you would know full well. Who is it? Jeff Geachin, who's in charge of the umpires these days?
No.
Kennedy, some bloke, whoever's there. Be telling, all right, boys, now there wasn't enough. Sorry, hang on. All right, boys, now there wasn't enough free kicks paid for holding the ball on Friday night, so Sunday I want to see lots. All right, guaranteed.
It's like Gabbo.
The thing is,
hey, look, Smithers. Kennedy's coming to town.
Every umpire is an SOB.
We have Richie and I had this conversation at the when we watched Adelaide get smashed by the Giants. When we looked at the free kick count and it was like 8-2. I was comfortable with that. I'm like, awesome. Adelaide's going to get 6 free kicks in the next 15 minutes. We're laughing because they love to even it out. And it's like, what?
If quotas you're going to do that, that's fine, but don't have it like over the course of the round. It's just disgraceful. And some of the like deliberate decisions being given, it just.
Anyway. You know, I'll tell you what feeds into that. I hate to get off topic. I'll pull this back, but they're not full-time umpires. Yeah. This is a professional sports institution in Australia that is umpired by blokes and women, of course. This is not for their full-time job. This is the side hustle for them. They all have other jobs that they do, and they just train like twice a week. I don't know what they do, just 100-metre sprints running backwards, throw a few balls. Throw a few balls.
Respect the running.
Giant quads, and then go home. And then umpire. No wonder the discrepancy is humongous. But no.
So anyway, Freo,
I'm actually tipping Freo. Right. It's at home. I genuinely think Fife gets this done. I reckon he goes bang. I reckon he kicks 2 goals.
$1.67 is 1 goal.
Too easy for that one. Sydney, I don't know. I didn't take much heart over that win over Collingwood, to be honest. I see exactly what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but I thought, how impressive is it to beat Collingwood? Because Collingwood was right up to their necks, even about halfway through that second quarter, and then fell over.
Big time.
As much as Sydney needed to then win it from there, and they did, Collingwood beat themselves, and it was very, very evident to see. So I don't know. I can't really buy into that as being a big Sydney win. But what I can buy into is this multi that I've got. Now, I've gone a bit stupid with this one. So Nat Fyfe, anytime goal. Your mate, Slobby Lobby. Anytime goal. He's played 3 games in a row now. He's come back from injury.
Yeah, he's looking good.
He's kicked about 1 goal 2. 1 goal 2 in every single game. Tommy Papley, anytime goal scorer. That's still paying like $1.20, $1.22 for Timmy Popley. Unbelievable.
Big fanny bet.
Yeah, it is a big fanny bet.
Getting sleepy in the Audi. Jim, sleepy in the Audi. Woo.
That is ordinance section. I don't like it. James Aish, 15 touches, and you could just take all that by itself, and that's paying about $8, those 4, just by himself. But if you want to get actual spicy McChicken burger on it.
I like spice.
You can chuck in Jake Lloyd, Luke Parker, Callum Mills, 25 touches, all of them, and that pumps it up to $16.75.
Oh. The only other one I like in that game is Gus Brayshaw, 30+.
Yeah, he's coming
Sorry, not Gus, Andrew. Drew Brayshaw. He's just been dominating, $30+, $1.67.
Drew Barrymore.
And Swans aren't tagging at the moment. Drew Barrymore, $30+.
Drew Barrymore is going to have 30 touches.
Delicious.
We love that. Wow. Look, we were chatting about the umpires there. Sorry for those who don't care for the umpires, but there have been certainly some dummy calls from the umpires over the last round, fellas, which of course means that it is indeed time for this week's...
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Dummy of the week.
Yeah, fellas. Dummy of the week. It's dummy of the week. We had an absolutely gigantic one last week. Now I want to tighten this one up. It's so tight, in fact, that I've got like literally nothing. I've got one, actually, and it's not even a massive one. It's I think it's Nathan Schmook, I think it was, or possibly Nathan Whiting, I think his name might have been.
Smokes.
Who was chatted. Did I screenshot it? No, I did. Michael Whiting, the big fish. Writing regarding the Adelaide Crows injury concerns at the minute and who's coming back in. He writes, Captain Taylor Walker is an automatic return after being arrested for the trip west. So that's pretty stupid. You're an AFL journalist. Get it right. And that's all I've got really on that one.
Mine,
anyone else? Any dummies?
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Oh, hello.
And
it
it balled me up a bit.
Here we are.
Nah, it didn't ball me up, but I'm just sick of the whinging baby Victorians. Damien Hardwick with the Tigers. We hate playing at Marvel Stadium. We want to play every game at the MCG. What, is playing 18 games there a year not enough? No. Like, you can't travel down the road 4 kilometres for one game.
Come on, Dimmer.
Even Matthew Lloyd, a Victorian by trade, was
chosen profession.
Yeah, you gave it the old Dimmer, shut up. Kane Corns called him a big baby as well. Like, just it's.
Now you know you've fallen.
Yeah,
when you've got Kane Corns calling you a baby.
Well, not only that, but when Kane Corns is dead right, and everyone agrees with him. Dimmer is,
and when he's slagging off one of his premiership mates,
Dimmer is absolutely on the wrong side of the tracks on this one.
Yeah.
Like, they've got one game at Marvel this year, and that was it. And they came out afterwards. Oh, we hate playing here. The AFL not happy about it at all.
No, good.
Like, it's just one game. Grow up, for God's sake.
He's representative of the Tiger army. Now, how many would get to a Tigers game at the G? 90,000?
Yeah.
How many got, Desmond, do you know, how many people went to go see the game at Marvel, a scant, 6 kilometres away from the G? Yeah? How many went?
Wasn't it like, how many does Marvel's fit?
45?
Something like that, yeah. About a bit less than 50.
Yeah, what? And wasn't it like, I'm going to chuck a number out here. I might be lying. 38?
No, keep going.
What, 30?
Keep going.
25?
Keep going, baby.
20?
Keep going.
15?
A bit higher than that. It was 18,007.
You guys suck.
Exactly. So not
you
only,
guys all suck.
Exactly.
That is bad.
So not only is Damien Hardwick a big baby.
What an idiot. That's why they put you in Marvel, because no one's going to your
Tiger
games.
Army, bunch of pussies.
Well, most of them. I mean, 18,000 of them were good cobs and went and supported the boys.
I'd love to go
made the water bag trip, you know what I mean? Packed the swag in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'll give the missus a kiss and I'll wave home and hopefully I'll come back and you look after the nippers while I'm gone.
Absolutely, yeah. Russell Coit, All Aussie Adventures. Good grief. I just like that was it. Just dumb. Whole Tiger fan base, dumb. Damien Hardwick, dumb.
That is the lowest Tigers crowd since 04. There you go.
And conversely, probably one of the best games they've played in.
Yeah. It was a ripper.
Scintillating.
Awesome game. I was edge of the seat footy.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, again, that's how good a game it was when I was at the Port game and I was still watching the last 3 minutes of that on my phone. I don't believe it. No, that's a belter. Put your heads in there, Tigers, Tiggies. Speaking of GWS, actually, let us move on, champs. And, GWS, 2 absolute roasters in 2 weeks. First, they've had Richmond. And now this week, at Giants Stadium, the first Sunday game is the GWS Giants versus the West Coast Eagles. Now, fellas, West Coast, let's talk. They did enough to put the Crows away, all right? A 5-goal win over a team that's currently bottom 4. That's not special for mine on your home deck. That was par. Mm-hmm. That was par. All right.
It was impressive for Adelaide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To hold them to that.
But it was I think
Adelaide.
Yes.
Adelaide.
I think
well,
yes.
If you look, we were 30 points down at halftime. So that means that they drew with us in the second half. That is tough.
Yeah.
You got to beat us by at least 1 point.
I would agree. You know, that was a par 3 hole, and they did it in 3. Realistically, the Eagles. It wasn't special. They only did enough as what they needed to put away
they could have put us down hard.
An inferior team. Mm-hmm. Now that was in the West, and that was against the Crows. Now this week they travelled to the East, so all of a sudden alarm bells ringing. The Eagles are travelling. What's going to happen here? Coming up against a GWS outfit that put together a performance that would have beat near as damn it any other team on their day. Like a combination of bad luck and the unstoppable force of Dustin Martin came together at the wrong time. And even then, GWS were leading for big portions of that game and leading well.
For 3 3/4.
Yeah. And to come up and to just fall over or just get beat by the reigning premiers. Yeah, they've got blokes out, but credit where it's due.
Not bad at all.
I don't think that the West Coast. I think they're due a loss. I think they're due one. We know that they don't like travel. I think they're due a loss. They're not going to like going over to Sydney. It'll be cold. It'll be wet. I assume. I haven't looked at the weather. The one thing though that makes me give pause.
I don't know what you're saying.
To betting on or tipping rather GWS winning here 1-39. The one thing is what? If you're listening on the podcast, Des is working his shoulder. His shoulder is busted, and so is little Tobias Green. Tobias Green with a little busted shoulder. He's out for 4 weeks. Now, who steps up? Who steps up in his absence? That's what I'm now worried about. I'm tipping the Giants, but I don't feel good about it. But I don't feel good about tipping the Eagles.
Well, it's going to be Josh Kelly, by all reports. He's going to be the next captain.
What, keep him at the club? The old Canelio treat.
Yeah.
The old Canelio treat. Oh.
Toby is their heart and soul. He's been forefront of their revival the last month and a bit. I just don't see them getting up over the Eagles here. The Eagles haven't impressed me one single solitary bit. The other 2 wins they had were against Hawthorn and Freo, hardly high flyers. They don't impress me, but I can't see the Giants continuing without Toby the way they have done with him.
Talisman. The talisman. What do you reckon, Des?
I'm going to split in the middle here.
Yep.
Well, I have no choice. I've got the Eagles purely I've got a little bit of a hunch. The testicles are tingling for the Eagles.
Doesn't he look like Quasimodo as well? When he said he had a little bit of Ange, look at him.
If Eagles are going to do anything this year, they've got to win this game. They've got to show that they can win on the road. And Giants at home, it's not a fortress for them.
No.
Giants at home, they're not. I feel like they're not. When they play at the MCG, they struggle when they play in Melbourne. But
they're 9th at the minute.
Yeah, I respect that.
That crept out of nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because they thumped Adelaide that went.
And because of Toby.
And that's it. The shoulder out. I was flip-flopping on this, and I was actually going to tip the Giants. You can see in my notes here, I've scribbled out the Giants. Because I'm just I think the Eagles are just going to roll them. I think they're going to show that they are an okay side. And if they're not, I'm going to struggle to tip the Eagles against any good side for the rest of the year. So Eagles 1-39 on mine, just because they are just a better team on paper. They don't ever show it. But
basically what the Eagles showed to me... Basically what the Eagles showed to me last week is they're not a premiership contender for mine, but they are good enough to beat a Toby Greenless Giants.
They're a solid number 7 or 8 on the ladder.
Yeah, I genuinely can't pick this one. I want to tip the Eagles, but I feel like I can't. I want to tip the Giants, but I feel like I can't.
I can sum up the Eagles in one phrase. First round exit in finals.
Yeah, I don't hate that call, actually.
Yeah.
If this was in the West, I'd probably tip the Eagles. If Toby was playing, I'd probably feel better about it.
If Toby was playing, I'd tip the Giants.
I want to see Jacob Hopper stand up. I mean, I know he had 35 and a goal on the weekend.
Hopperwadi.
But I want to see him put the thumb up, you know what I'm saying? Go Hopperwadi mode, put the thumb up.
JDG.
I would think that's so funny.
Imagine, that'd be ironic, wouldn't it? That'd be great. But no, I want to see him step up a little bit more and actually like lead from the front, drag the boys over the line. Don't leave it to Josh Kelly.
He's one of those blokes that's always looked like he's got the ability and just never quite puts it together. Yeah. One thing I do love in this game is Tim Taranto, 30 plus, $1.83.
Yeah.
Our resident Eagles fan, Captain Morgan, has been so far off the Eagles as hard ball winners. It is unbelievable. That is what Tim Taranto... Whoop.
I'm dying.
He's gone down.
He's done.
I'm dying.
He's done.
I'm allergic to Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Excuse me, apologies.
Good grief.
I'm allergic to Captain Morgan.
Smoker's lung.
And his hatred of the Eagles.
Yeah.
If you were in the group chat with us, you would have heard Captain Morgan slagging off the Crows and Eagles.
Yep.
Even though the Eagles were a good 5 goals up.
Yep.
How can you be winning by 5 goals and still mad at your team?
That is a spoiled fan is what that is, mate. But he doesn't like their chance of winning contested pill, and that is what Tim Taranto does best. So 30 plus should do that walking backwards, I reckon.
Surely. All right, let's talk bets. Lockie Whitfield, 25. And he had 24 on the weekends, and he's now paying something like $1.60 or something stupid like that.
Time on ground has been slowly trending up as well since his liver issue, so he's getting back to his best.
He looks good. He does look good.
And at home.
I love Lockie Whitfield. I'm putting that out there.
So little Lachlan of the Whitfields, the Winnie Blues, 25 touches there. It's Timmy time, Taranto for 25.
Timmy.
Josh Kelly, 25, easy. Brad Shepherd, 15 touches. Just goes about it. And
he sneaks it.
He's averaging about 19 at the minute, and I'll have that. I'll have that. And Isaac coming down back.
25. Coming hard, coming strong.
Yeah, exactly. 20 touches for him. It's all touches. Yeah, it's the Rolf Harris multi. It's all touches, and it's paying about $6.80.
Get the wobble boards out.
The Rolf Harris multi. I like it.
Oh, that's joke of the round.
Whoopsie doodle.
No, we're big To Catch a Predator fans on this show.
I love To Catch a Predator.
Timey kangaroo down, sport. Timey kangaroo down.
Let us move on rapidly. Let's talk about the second Sunday bout at the MCG. Now, boys, I'm going to go full Don King mode here. We've got Eddie McGuire in the blue corner. Ed is 56 years of age, 183 centimetres tall, 102 or so kilos, there or thereabouts, I dare say.
I was going to say 183, to be honest with
Making
you.
an assumption. Net worth, according to a 5-second Google search that I made, about 54 million. And in the red corner, you've got David KOCH standing at 1.9 metres in height.
He's a big boy. 65
years of age, weighing in with a 20-kilo head sat on top of a 30-kilo body. And net worth probably about the same. He actually earns $1 million a year just on Sunrise.
He'd make big dollars.
He's a good businessman.
That's mad.
He made scratch. I actually walked past him at the airport one time. He's a big lad.
At one point, yeah.
He's a seriously tall dude.
Now, this is interesting because Koch is in better shape, and we know this. David Koch is in absolutely better shape, but Ed's younger. Ed's got the youth.
Eddie's dirty.
He's got virility.
It depends on what type of battle we're talking here, because if it's a street fight, Eddie's going straight for the cods.
Well, now, see, that's interesting because that's exactly what I've written. Look, Koch is bitter. Koshi is an angry man. He's got shizen on the liver. He's an angry man. But Ed has spotted physical weaknesses. In his last bloody Fox Footy little chat,
balls,
he was
eyes,
there.
bam.
Yeah, it was. He was like, oh, David Koch's got a big nose. Got a big, don't want to get it broke. Don't want to get it broke. Is what little Eddie was saying. And I was loving the aggro. I'm loving the banter.
Funny as.
So this is the boxing round. Now, forget Anthony Mundine limping and flopping in the ring. I don't want to see none of that. I want Ed versus David. Sunday afternoon at the G. I don't have a name for it. It needs some sort of a name, some sort of a boxing topic. You know, like Thriller and Manila style. It needs something. Yeah. It needs something.
The Brick House Hit House.
It's oh my lord. I'll come up with something. It's the Prison Bar Brawl.
Yeah.
It's the Prison Bar Brawl. That's what I'm calling it. And I've got to tip Koshi for this one. I think actually. I think that reach. He's got the reach. He's got the reach. He's thinner. He's nimble. I think he needs to get it done early rounds.
Yeah, well, if we're talking about footy here, Koshi's going to do it easily by about 40 to 50 plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not. It depends. If we're talking legitimate fight here, I've got Eddie McGuire here because he's dirty. He'll be biting and scratching like a girl, and I can say that like a girl. I've got 3 sisters, and if you look at my hands here, they are scratched hands because they get the claws out, and it sucks.
They're dope,
hairy
mate.
palms.
It's about winning at all costs, mate.
I'd much rather get punched in the face than scratched by one of my sisters.
Nobody remembers the loser.
Scratch, bite, bang, in the eyes, in the nose.
The more dirty you are, the more chance you are of going
And Eddie McGuire wins a legitimate
so.
fight, but too bad his team is a subpar, a burning.
A boxing match between Eddie and Koshi or a street fight carries far more intrigue than this football contest.
Yeah,
40 plus
absolutely would.
I don't care about all this chat that Port's doing this and Port's no good against the good teams.
No, they are good.
For starters, Collingwood's not a good team, so this is going to be a massacre. And Port is a good team. And I don't care.
You're an idiot if you say that. And I hate Port more than most people in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
And they are a very good team and they could win the flag this year.
Well, the chat's been that they're 1-3 against top 8 sides at the minute with a percentage of 72. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they went down against the Dogs, who are a contender at Adelaide Oval. All right, fair. Look at their outs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Western Bulldogs with a full squad to pick from at the minute.
Yep.
Lycett alone not being there for the Power made such a difference.
And they were 8 points down with 5 minutes to go and they could have won it. They could have
I'm
stolen it.
not hearing any of this chat about
They just
Port.
lost moments. As we say, they lost big moments in the game and that cost them. They didn't lose the game like
Port is
by any
battling
stretch.
just as much as anyone with their injuries
Yeah,
at the
good,
moment. They're really struggling, especially with that guys like Dan Houston for that delivery into 50. I mean,
big time.
Charlie Dixon without that delivery is
no good.
Neither use nor ornament. So they've got to get some of these guys back in if they're a chance to push on late into the year. But they'll come back and they'll be very, very good.
They're going to love it this week. It's a great win. It's a great game to come after a big loss like
hugely.
Not a big loss in numbers as I would normally say. It's a big loss in
Well, they don't need to be
Just
at
at
full
home.
strength to rout the Pies.
No,
they really don't.
No, they could put their SNFL team beat Collingwood.
Probably it would be a contest. Look, yeah, Port, as you've all said it, Port's going to bounce back against the bottom side here. I will be interested because I think Boak and Wines are in ripping form at the minute, whereas Sidey and Pendles are really just dropping at the minute. Maynard seems to be cracking in a bit, but everyone at the Pies just looks like they put the queue in the rack for 2021.
The only one that doesn't every week is Jack Crisp. Jack Crisp cracks in hard, and everyone else sort of just
Follows in his way.
Yeah, meanders around and
Bobs
does
in his
whatever
way.
until the final siren goes.
I tell you, he's going to have an absolute day out at the park. Brody Grundfos. He is going to have one of the all-time big games from a ruckman that you've ever seen, and I can't bloody wait for it. I cannot bloody wait for it. He's featuring in my betting here. I've got Brody Grundy, 20 touches. I've got Travis Boak, 25. I've got DBJ. Darcy Burn-Jones for 20. Now, he's been trending upwards, and I think Cleary being out means that his numbers are going to see a bit of a tick up. And old Villies Pies Motlop, anytime goal. And he's good for it. He's pushed out about $1.40, $1.45 this week off of the back of him missing one set shot. Pretty much 2 seconds left of the game last week, and he just missed it. But that's fine because that pushes his odds up this week.
We love that.
That's paying about $5.65, and you can also get David KOCH win by stoppage in rounds 1 to 3. I think that's paying about $7.
Let's be dead honest. If they were actually having a street fight, cardiovascular wise, they'd be huffing and puffing after 3 seconds. It wouldn't even last.
It's so hard.
It
It
wouldn't-
is so hard. Like
It wouldn't last.
Well,
a distance.
Ed's blimpish at the minute.
Yeah,
Koch
if
is
professional
more
boxers are
likely-
huffing after one round.
It wouldn't even be.
No,
an
it'd
intriguing
have to be
fight.
like
It'd have to be a
six-
street fight.
6 1-minute rounds.
All weapons allowed.
Give them bats and helmets.
Let's go.
Alrighty, let's
Jousting.
talk the jousting. Jousting would be in cars. That would be class.
Oh, I love it.
Let's talk the last game of the round. Boys, it is the third Sunday game at Marvel Stadium between the Essendon Bombers and the North Melbourne Kangaroos. Oh, here he is.
They've done it. I called North. Called them. Big call for the Des. They're going to do it again. They're going to go 2-0 because you know what the Bombers love to do?
No.
Just like Carlton. They love to let down their supporters when they're supposed to win. North Melbourne are going to be riding high here. They didn't play that well. They didn't play that good. They played well to North Melbourne standards, so that's an elite VFL team. And I think that's going to give them the confidence. They're going to roll over the top here. Because Bombers should have really comfortably beat Freo. They should have comfortably beat Freo at home. They've been playing good footy. If they played to the best of their... If they played to their potential, I don't want to say best of their ability. I sound like I'm a 60-year-old English teacher. North Melbourne, going to win here. The Des Dog of the Week. I'm on a bit of a streak here. I'm on like a 4 or 5 dog streak.
Yeah. You've
That
got a
works.
pound.
Yeah, that works.
It's
yeah.
a dog pound.
Yeah,
So,
dog pound.
come at me. Come at me, North. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, Essendon. You won't, because North are going to win. I'm very confident North Melbourne are going to roll them.
How's your mathematics? How's your grasp of mathematics?
Oh, I can tell now I'm going to crack under the pressure big time.
Fair to middling. Interesting. I've got a simple equation for you.
Fair to middling,
Chuck it at me.
being exceptionally gratuitous.
I would get an A in year 3 mathematics and probably a C in year 5.
Can we get him on Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I want to bring that show back and get Desi on it. I'd love that. No, I've got a little
Yeah, hit me with the stat.
Yeah, no, it's not a stat. It's an equation. Parrish plus Heppel plus Hind plus McGrath plus Ridley equals a lovely brown, crisp-looking Chelsea boot type of operation with a raised heel and
That's a Windsor Smith, man.
It's a Windsor Smith, and I tell you who else is getting the wins. Essendon's getting the wins. That's what it is. That's my shoe-in of the round. The Dons are going to get this one done. Very sorry to go against you, sir.
Well,
but
I've got some mathematics for you.
here we are. 2 plus 2 is 4.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Nah, 2-zip is the Des Dog up against you guys' locks. 2-zip, baby.
All right.
Interesting
2-zip.
mathematics. Interesting grammar.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up against
2-zip,
you
baby.
guys' locks.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm with Rich on this one. I'd love to get behind the Roos, but
They're going to do it.
both teams are renowned for letting their fans down, by the way. You said Bombers are, but
North Melbourne are.
nobody does it better than North Melbourne. They're both renowned for this. Both coming off wins it adds a little bit of intrigue to this game because it was looking pretty stinky when I looked ahead to the fixtures last weekend and I thought,
on end on.
North Melbourne versus
Janky.
Essendon. Good grief.
Yeah, janky.
Now they're both winning. That's great.
Just think of Crows last year. They're in a similar spot as what Adelaide was last year, obviously, like 0-9 or whatever they were. Adelaide won 2 in a row. We won 2 in a row. North Melbourne are trending that same way. Boom, boom,
I strongly
boom,
disagree.
boom.
But,
I can't.
look,
North, baby. Des Dog of the Week.
in saying that, North Melbourne getting a win here would be massive for the culture. It'd be huge.
God, yeah.
It'd be huge for David Noble. So if they do get up, like I'll be happy for them. I really will.
I can do it.
My favourite bet for the round actually lies within this game as well,
Ooh.
which makes me
Hello, boys.
Yeah, which adds a little bit of intrigue.
It's not North Melbourne 40 plus, is it?
It is not. But now that you mention it, it's still not. Darcy Parish 30 plus.
Yep, good.
Just killing it lately.
Yep.
After your call, he's just been dominating.
Oh, no one's going to stop him, but North is still going to win.
Fair enough.
It's rubbish.
Jack Zeeble 25 plus because he just gets it done every week. My favourite bet for the round, a bit of a curly one. Mason Redman for 20 plus, paying $2.10.
Mason Redman.
What do you have last week?
I can't remember, but he's gone
Wow.
20 plus in his last 3.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to have a look at
Okay,
this.
you have a look at that.
$2.10. He started taking a lot of kick outs and always plays on, which I'm a big fan of. And they, for some reason, seem to like ramming the ball down his throat. So 20 plus, I love
Would
it.
you like to know something funny about Nathan Redman?
Go on. Nathan Redman.
Well, for starters, his name's Mason.
Nathan Redman.
His name? It's not Nathan. Oh,
No, it's not
No,
Nathan.
my stat's redundant then. Take it back.
Did you just look up Nathan Redman?
We look up Nathan Freeman.
I was going to say, do you know what's cool about his name?
Go on.
It ends in Mon like my last name. We're both Mon brothers.
I genuinely.
I don't know who this player is.
You are the biggest moron.
Nathan Redman. Let me read it out to you. Oh, I'll take it back. Nathan Redman. I do know who Nathan Redman is, and he plays in the EPL.
If
I got
hear
excited.
another word out of your
I got
mouth,
excited.
I'm going to punch you in the throat. Nah, look, Bombers were lucky to scrap that win. The footy gods owed them. I reckon the footy gods owed them, as I said. North, great to see, and as you said, it's right for the culture.
You're an absolute spacker.
No, I'm not listening to that anymore.
I'm hiding in this.
I'm bringing it back to sensibility.
I'm so hot and sweaty.
Yeah, I can. You smell as well. You smell you smell like wet, hot man. And it's just gross.
I know him because I always used to buy him in career mode.
Like, no, put him to bed. Put him to bed. No, but North could shock Essendon if they're not up and about here. Let's be real. Like
would be a shock.
Well, it would be a shock. They showed enough against the Hawks. I don't think they're going to do it twice.
Wouldn't be a shock.
I think it's been you know, like when you put the kettle on to boil and it just takes a while to build up and bubble up, and then when it blows and it's off the boil, and that's that. I think North going off the boil this week.
Yeah, we're boiling a big win.
Dons are getting it done. I do want to see a bit of consistency from the North kids before I start backing them in. Tell you who has been consistent, Nick Hind. Nick Hind for the Dons could be behind Alir as the pickup of the off season.
It's hard to argue.
Unbelievably
Very
good.
hard to argue.
20 touches for him. I want Harrison Jones and Cam Zerha anytime goals apiece. Todd Goldstein, 15 or more touches, please. And he's averaging about something like 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there. And Darcy Parish, 30 plus, couldn't go past it. In a rich vein of form, and I want to hammer and chisel that out until it's played out. All of that together is paying about $6.50.
Why do we think, just quickly, why did the Bombers go and give anything up for Jai Caldwell when you had Darcy Parish sitting there willing to get 38 touches every week?
Because he wasn't doing it until now.
But he wasn't playing midfield. They didn't give him a shot.
Well, I don't know. You would assume
He wasn't playing well. Like he was always.
But he wasn't playing in midfield.
I know, but he was away.
Now that he's full-time midfield, Jai Caldwell, see you later, mate.
Had to build up the tank, maybe.
Hit the
maybe
What did they
bricks.
give up for Jai?
I can't even remember.
for the first, at least.
Yeah,
Something like that.
so maybe a second.
Something
Either
like
way, you had the guy sitting there. You just didn't realise it.
No, you got the Jai sitting there doing nothing.
that. Nice. It's not nice. I want you out. I
good
tell
grief.
you're getting subbed out next week. We're bringing someone else in.
Yeah, Cam eating his sock sandwich.
Thank you very much for joining us on this week's show. I have been Rich of the Armchair Advisors, and we will see you next week for round 11. Of course, any of the bets and stuff that we've talked about, it's not financial advice, so don't add us if you put money on and it goes down. But please get in touch. Well, we love hearing from the fans.
Hit us up.
We answer messages. We jump on. Admittedly, I haven't been on the YouTube comments lately because I've been busy. Yeah, get me. But look, please drop us a like. We'd love to hear from you. Take care. See you next week.
And please like and subscribe.
Subscribe,
Please.
baby.
Megan.
Subscribe. And subscribe to Nathan Redman.